Welcome to the Meditation Nest. Here, bedtime stories become gentle meditations designed to help your thoughts unwind as you slow the tempo of your life and embrace the night ahead. I invite you to slow your breath, soften your thoughts, and find peace as you listen. This is your time to rest, reflect, and dream. Tonight, we travel to the eastern edge of Canada, where the Atlantic meets the rugged coast of Nova Scotia. Here, the evening often arrives wrapped in pale fog. Gray mist drifts above the water, and the horizon fades into a calm blur where ocean and sky mingle in quiet harmony. In this place, the pace of the world slows. Waves roll steadily along the shore. Cool air carries the faint tang of salt. Each step across the damp sand draws the body deeper into the steady rhythm of the tide. During this gentle walk, you may allow the breath to follow the motion of the ocean. Each slow inhale gathers calm. Each quiet exhale releases the weight of the day. There is nowhere to hurry, only the continual rhythm of the ocean guiding each moment forward. So settle in, relax your body, and allow your mind to wander toward the quiet coast. The fog waits along the shore, and the tide moves at its own calm pace. Welcome to coastal solitude. Evening arrives softly along the coast of Nova Scotia. A pale veil of fog drifts above the ocean, resting low against the jagged outline of the shoreline. You stand near the edge of the water, where the tide breathes gently across the sand. The air feels cool and heavy with salt. Each breath carries the calm presence of the Atlantic, vast and steady beyond the fog. Allow your body to pause for a moment. Feel the ground beneath your feet. The sand along this shore holds the memory of countless tides. It feels firm beneath your steps, damp and cool, where the water has recently drawn back toward the ocean. A slow wave rolls forward. Water reaches across the sand in a thin, shining sheet before easing gently away again. Forward, then back. The ocean moves with a calm pulse that feels almost like breathing. You begin to walk. Your pace follows the rhythm of the tide rather than the pressure of a deadline or commitment. Each step presses lightly into the sand, leaving a brief mark before the water slowly smooths the surface once more. The fog softens the distance around you. Cliffs that rise farther along the coast appear only as faint shapes through the mist. The open Atlantic stretches beyond sight, hidden behind a curtain of pale gray air. Yet the presence of the ocean remains unmistakable. You feel it through the calm sound of water moving across the shore. The tide advances with gentle patience. Each motion carries a calm repetition. Forward, pause, return. Forward, pause, return. Your breath begins to follow the same rhythm, drawing the air slowly inward, letting the cool salt breeze fill your lungs, then releasing the breath gently, allowing any tension to ease away like water drifting back toward the ocean. Another wave arrives. Its edge curls lightly across the sand before settling into a smooth, reflective surface that mirrors the pale sky above. Tiny ripples shimmer across the water like faint patterns of light. As the tide draws away again, it reveals delicate textures left behind in the sand. Thin lines, small ridges, subtle patterns shaped by the movement of water during the night. Your steps move across these patterns, slowly and quietly. The cool sand offers a steady sense of grounding beneath each foot. Every step anchors the body to the calm rhythm of the coast. The fog drifts gently along the shoreline. At times, it grows thinner, revealing a faint glimpse of distant rock against the water's edge. Then it gathers again, wrapping the coast in quiet stillness. The effect feels almost protective. The world beyond the shoreline fades softly from view. Here, there is only ocean, the sand, and the slow motion of your walk. A seabird glides briefly through the mist above the water. Its wings move in calm arcs before the bird disappears once more into the pale fog. The ocean continues its steady rhythm. Another wave arrives, moving gently across the shore. The water curls around small stones scattered along the sand. Each pebble holds its own smooth shape, worn by years of quiet contact with tide and wind. Your steps continue, calm, unhurried, With every breath, the air feels a little deeper. With every step, the body settles further into the quiet presence of the coast. The Atlantic moves beside you with patient energy that has shaped these shores for thousands of years. It carries no rush, only the steady rhythm of the tide meeting land. And as you continue along the foggy shoreline, the calm pulse of the ocean becomes the quiet guide for the rest of your journey. As your walk continues along the quiet edge of the Atlantic, the shape of the shoreline begins to shift. Through the pale fog, dark forms slowly emerge ahead. At first, they appear only as gentle shadows resting along the water's edge. With each step forward, the shapes gain detail, revealing the rugged architecture of the coast. Nova Scotia's shoreline carries a dramatic character shaped through centuries of wind, tide, and shifting ice. Large rock formations rise from the sand in uneven angles, their surfaces worn smooth in some places and sharply ridged in others. The fog wraps around these ancient stones, softening their outlines while allowing their presence to remain quietly powerful. You move closer to the rocks, your steps slowing naturally as the landscape grows more intricate. The wide openness of the beach gives way to pockets of stone and narrow paths of sand winding between them. Each formation seems to hold its own personality, carved patiently by the endless rhythm of the ocean. The rocks hold deep shades of charcoal and slate, darkened by years of contact with salt water. In places, the stone glistens with a faint sheen where recent waves have left a thin film of moisture. Here and there, small patches of green life cling to the surface. Mosses and hardy coastal plants grow along the shattered edges, thriving in the cool, damp air carried inland by the Atlantic winds. These quiet plants appear delicate at first glance, though their presence tells a different story. Each small cluster of moss has adapted to the constant breath of the ocean. Salt rides in the air with every passing breeze. Storms arrive with little warning during colder months. Yet these small plants remain anchored to the stone, gathering moisture from the fog and drawing quiet strength from the thin soil collected in the crevices. You pause beside one of the larger formations, placing a hand gently against the cool surface of the rock. The rock feels steady beneath your palm, carrying the calm endurance of something shaped through many years of tide and wind. The fog drifts around you while the ocean continues its steady movement nearby. A narrow path of sand leads between two large rocks ahead. You follow it slowly, allowing your pace to match the quiet character of the landscape. On the far side of the rocks, the shoreline reveals another layer of detail that may have remained hidden during high tide. Small tide pools rest within shallow pockets of stone scattered along the sand. Each pool holds a tiny window into the ocean's world. Clear water gathers in smooth basins carved gently into the rock. The surface reflects the pale sky above, while faint ripples move across the water whenever a distant wave sends a subtle vibration through the ground. You crouch beside one of the pools and look closer. Tiny shells rest along the edges like delicate ornaments shaped by the ocean. Some are pale ivory in color, while others hold soft shades of rose or amber. Small strands of seaweed drift lazily beneath the surface, their slow movement guided by the gentle motion of the water. Within the quiet pool, life moves at a calm and patient pace. A small crab rests near the shadow of a stone, its delicate legs shifting carefully along the sandy floor. The creature pauses as though aware of your presence, then continues its quiet journey along the pool's edge. The ocean has left this small world behind during the retreat of the tide. Soon, the water will return again, filling these pools and drawing their quiet inhabitants back into the greater movement of the ocean. For now, the pools rest in calm stillness. You continue along the shoreline, moving from one quiet pocket of rock and water to the next. The fog thickens slightly here, drifting between the formations and softening the view beyond a short distance. The effect draws your attention naturally toward the details close at hand. Every step reveals something new. Smooth pebbles, shaped like gentle ovals, rest along the sand. Faint trails left by small shore creatures create delicate patterns near the edges of the pools. Strands of kelp lie draped across the rocks, their surfaces glossy where the last wave brushed against them. The rhythm of your breathing remains slow and steady. Cool ocean air fills your lungs with each gentle inhale. The scent of salt mingles with the faint early aroma of seaweed and wet stone. Your body moves comfortably within the calm environment, guided by the quiet pulse of the tide and the steady ground beneath your feet. The fog continues to cradle the shoreline in gentle isolation. Far beyond the rocks, the Atlantic stretches outward, vast and powerful. Yet here along the edge, the ocean expresses a softer presence. Each tide pool, each moss-covered pebble, each small shell along the sand reflects the patient creativity of water and time working together. Your walk becomes less about distance and more about observation. You move slowly among the rocks, noticing the subtle harmony between strength and gentleness within the coastal landscape. The rugged formations hold their ground against the ocean's power, while the delicate life growing upon them reveals how resilience often appears in quiet forms. A soft wave rolls across the nearby sand, its motion echoing faintly through the rocks. The tide has begun its gradual return. The pools shimmer briefly as the distant movement of water reaches their calm surfaces. Soon, the ocean will rise again, filling these small basins and blending them once more into the greater rhythm of the ocean. For now, the shoreline remains a quiet gallery of stone, moss, and water. And as you continue your gentle walk along the fog-covered coast, each step draws your mind deeper into the calm details of the world around you. The fog settles even lower across the water. The mist drifts gently between the rock formations and stretches across the open shoreline, forming a soft veil that blurs the meeting point of ocean and sky. In this quiet atmosphere, the world grows smaller in the most peaceful way. The distance fades, and your attention naturally turns toward the sounds and sensations close at hand. Along the edge of the Atlantic, sound travels differently when fog rests upon the ocean. The thick coastal air softens the sharper edges of noise, leaving only the deep and steady rhythm of the tide. Waves arrive along the shoreline in calm succession, each one rolling forward with a muted breath before spreading across the sand. The sound carries a gentle hush, like the slow turning of pages in a quiet room. A wave approaches. Water glides across the damp sand and gathers for a brief moment before easing back toward the ocean. The retreat of the tide leaves behind a soft murmur as tiny streams weave through the sand on their return to the ocean. That rhythm repeats again and again. The fog absorbs distant noise from beyond the coast, allowing the ocean to become the central voice of the landscape. Each wave carries a deep and steady tone that feels almost like a quiet drumbeat beneath the morning air. As you walk, your breathing begins to follow a natural rhythm. A slow inhale welcomes the cool salt air into your lungs. The breath expands gently through the chest, drawing in the calm presence of the ocean that surrounds you. When you exhale, your breath flows outward, long and unhurried, releasing any weight carried within the body. The ocean breathes, and your breath joins the motion. With every inhale, the cool air feels calm and refreshing. With every exhale, the mind grows quieter, allowing the gentle repetition of the tide to guide your thoughts into calm waters. The fog continues drifting across the coast, creating an environment where the senses shift in subtle ways. With the horizon hidden from your view, your eyes no longer search the distance for movement or change. Instead, your mind relaxes into the immediate moment. Feel the sand beneath your feet. Hear the steady sound of water along the shore. Feel the gentle touch of ocean air against your skin. These simple sensations become the center of awareness. In places where the fog grows thickest, even the nearest rock formations soften into quiet shapes. Their outlines appear and fade again as the mist slowly moves through the landscape. The effect feels almost dreamlike. Without the wide view of the open horizon, the coast becomes an intimate space where each step reveals only what lies directly ahead. Your mind is settling naturally, freed from the constant stream of distant sights and distractions that filled your day in another environment. This quiet narrowing of focus creates a gentle shift within the body. Your shoulders relax. The pace of your walk grows even slower. Each step becomes deliberate and steady as you move along the damp sand beside the breathing tide. The ocean continues its patient rhythm. Water rolls forward with calm certainty, spreading across the shoreline before drifting back toward the ocean. The retreating motion creates delicate streams that weave around small pebbles and shells scattered along the sand. You pause for a moment and stand quietly beside the water. Allow your breath to move with the tide. As a new wave approaches, draw in a slow breath through the nose, filling your lungs with the cool salt air that surrounds you. As the water retreats, release the breath gently, allowing the body to soften with the motion of the water. Again, the wave arrives, another slow inhale. The wave retreats, another quiet exhale. Each cycle of breath mirrors the natural pulse of the ocean. Your mind begins to follow this steady rhythm, allowing thoughts that once moved quickly to shift into a slower and calmer rhythm. With each passing moment, the sense of tension dissolves more completely into the landscape around you. Any worries that traveled with you to the shore begin to loosen their hold. Like the tide pulling gently away from the sand, those thoughts move outward, carried by the quiet motion of breath and water. The fog remains your quiet companion along the coast. Above, the sky reveals only a soft glow where moonlight filters faintly through the mist. The light spreads evenly across the shoreline, creating a calm and gentle brightness that feels restful to the eyes. Without sharp shadows or strong contrast, the world feels balanced and still. A distant gull calls somewhere beyond the fog. The sound carries briefly through the mist before fading again into the quiet atmosphere. The ocean continues its steady rhythm beneath the call, never rushing, never pausing, always returning. Your walk resumes. Step by step, you continue along the shoreline with calm awareness. Your breath remains steady. Your body moves easily through the cool evening air. With every step, the sound of the ocean reinforces the quiet sanctuary forming within your mind. The fog protects this moment from the wider world beyond the coast. There are no demands here. No urgency, no need to measure time. There is only the slow rhythm of waves meeting sand. The Atlantic continues breathing beside you, its deep and ancient motion guiding your own breath into calm harmony. The shoreline becomes a place where the mind finds room to settle. where worries fade like distant shapes dissolving into mist. And as you continue along the foggy shore, the gentle echoes of the tide carry your thoughts further into stillness. Your walk along the coast continues with a calm and steady rhythm, guided by the gentle presence of the Atlantic at your side. The fog remains draped across the shoreline like a quiet blanket, softening every distant shape and allowing the world to feel smaller and more peaceful. Here along this stretch of shore, you realize that in this moment, you are the only witness to the evening. It brings a sense of awe as you take in all that you have observed on this walk. The cliffs stand silent behind the veil of mist. The tide moves with its patient rhythm. The wide ocean breathes in slow motion beside you, ancient and calm. And for now, this quiet coast belongs only to you. The solitude carries a gentle comfort rather than loneliness. In this open space between sea and sky, there is room for the mind to rest without interruption. The steady act of walking has guided your body into a natural rhythm, each step grounding you deeper into the calm presence of the moment. The fog seems to pause the wider world beyond the coast. No distant roads appear here. No hurried voices travel across the water. The modern world rests far away from this quiet shoreline, where the only movement comes from tide and wind. Your steps continue along the damp sand, leaving brief impressions that slowly fade beneath the returning water. The tide gathers those traces and smooths the shoreline once more, just as the calm rhythm of the ocean has begun smoothing the edges of your thoughts. In this quiet sanctuary, time feels unimportant. The steady sound of the waves replaces the ticking of clocks. The soft light through mist offers a gentle beginning to the night rather than a demand to hurry forward. You pause for one final moment beside the water. Draw in a slow breath of cool ocean air, allowing the calm presence of the Atlantic to fill your lungs. Then release the breath gently, letting the body grow even more relaxed as the wave before you slips quietly back toward the ocean. The shoreline has offered a simple gift, a moment of quiet movement, a place where breath and tide share the same gentle rhythm. As the walk slowly comes to an end, the calm of this fog-covered coast remains with you. The steady pulse of the ocean continues within your breathing, guiding your body toward deeper rest. Now you may allow your steps to fade into stillness. Let the sound of the waves drift further into the distance, and as your body settles comfortably into rest, imagine the quiet shoreline continuing its calm rhythm through the evening mist. The Atlantic breathes slowly beside the sand. The fog drifts gently across the water, and the peaceful sanctuary of the coast remains steady and calm, carrying you softly into sleep. The end. As rest gently settles in, my hope for you is that you carry a quiet reminder from the fog-covered shore. The ocean never rushes its rhythm. Tide meets the land, retreats, and returns again with patient calm. In that steady motion, the ocean shapes cliffs, smooths stones, and leaves gentle patterns across the sand. Your mind holds the same quiet wisdom. When given a moment of calm, breath and body find their natural rhythm once more. Tensions loosen. Thoughts grow softer. The day slowly drifts away like mist over water. Tonight, you may rest with the same steady ease as the Atlantic tide. The shore remains quiet. The fog drifts gently across the water, and with each slow breath, you are carried deeper into peaceful sleep. Good night. As this episode comes to a gentle close and the world outside grows quiet, may you find comfort within your own meditation nest. Let your mind settle softly. May tranquility wrap around you, inviting deep rest and serene dreams until dawn. If you'd like to help keep the meditation nest aglow, please consider buying me a cup of coffee by visiting ko-fi.com/BethPodcast. Every small kindness helps the light travel a little further. You can also access a free weekly blog on substack.com. Check the show notes for links. Until we meet again, rest in the quiet knowing that you are safely held by the night.